Just to give you a little background on our company, we're Electronic Storage Corporation located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've been in business since 1989. We're a software developer. Currently in our Tulsa office, we have our own programming department, our own customer service and technical support department. The owner and founder of our company is Brad Jensen. We have document management solutions, report management and distribution systems, tapeless backup, and deduplication and replication. We're an IBM business partner and also a Microsoft certified partner. The benefits of automated document management and how to improve customer satisfaction, save money, reduce paper documents, boost employee productivity. And then we're going to do a really short presentation of our document management system, DMS-10, LaserVault DMS-10. So several of these benefits result in a large improvement in production or productivity, a large improvement in saving resources, saving money, saving time, etc. If all your documents are available from your desktop computer, from your laptop, from your iPad, iPhone, and any other computer device in which you have an internet browser, so that you can get to those documents, search them, view them, print them, email them, etc. So there are several things that are problems with dealing with paper. Companies spend 5% of their total filing costs on equipment, 20% on space, and 70% on salaries. So these are the costs of dealing with paper. A 4-drawer file cabinet that holds 15 to 20,000 pages costs $25,000 to fill that file cabinet and $2,000 a year to maintain. So our clientele looks at it as a way to eliminate file cabinets, to not increase the amount of paper that they're using to place into file cabinets, because each document you place into the file cabinet is labor intensive, and that is costing money. And also, work groups lose 15% of all documents they handle. So the less handling of the document, and the handling would really include everything: filing it, retrieving it, moving it from one location to the other, because it's an older document, it needs to be archived. So the routing it through your office, through interoffice mail, things like that can allow the greater loss of documents. And it's very insecure. Paper is actually really insecure because it's typically can be out in the open, available for all eyes. And so return on investment. So key calculations: how much paper do employees deal with each day? So how much paper is coming in, such as accounts payable documents that you're having to deal with. That will help you get some idea of calculating the cost. And we actually have a spreadsheet that you can go through and put in the information, and it will come out with a return on investment as far as the number of months and the amount of dollars that dealing with paper is costing your company. How often do your employees retrieve documents that have been filed, and how many of those employees are having to retrieve documents? Every time a customer or a vendor needs to know information, you may have to be getting up to retrieve a document. Anytime, and that is going to take time in order for that particular employee to retrieve that information, and that time costs money. How often do employees copy and fax or mail paper documents? That's another cost that's associated in dealing with paper. If you basically have your copy online on your computer through a database system, then you have easy access to that information. You can easily make a copy by emailing it or printing it directly from your computer, never having to leave your desk. Scan: how often are you scanning documents so that you can email them? And would you like to be able to scan documents and archive them so that you can later email them if you need to, or later retrieve them. Scanning in many cases can be easier, is definitely easier than filing, and also can take less time than filing. How often do employees have to search for lost or misplaced documents? This can be a headache for documents that are lost. Retrieving, a lot of times these are source documents, so that was your only copy, or you're having to retrieve a copy of some document from a vendor, from a customer, from whatever that the source of that document. You'll have to contact and maybe get a copy if that's possible. So the solution would be a document management solution, automated document management, and that includes a variety of categories and functionality that will create for you a more efficient work environment, better customer service, and better customer satisfaction, and a high return on investment. Those features and capabilities would be things like central archive and backup. So papers scattered throughout the office in different file cabinets, different boxes, warehouses, basements, Iron Mountain, so documents are stored in caves. So if one of the solutions here is to archive your documents on a centralized server and have the ability to back that up to some other device, to another disk, to external disk, to tape, if that's what you're using to back up your documents. So you can actually have two copies of your documents electronically very easily and very inexpensively, because disk space is not expensive. Custom document index folders and workflows. So indexing of documents is key when storing that information. Much of the time, our clients have more ways of searching documents than they did when the documents were in the file cabinets, because of a database system that you can set up. You have more indexing search capabilities, research is faster, audits take less time, audits are more automated, and so this gives everybody much faster access, much more flexibility, because if you can define 5 or 10 indexes for a document to search, many times in a file cabinet you might have 1 or 2 indexes in order to retrieve the document. And this takes time to search through the file folder or file area for all the documents that you need for a particular transaction or a particular customer. So if you're just looking for one document, how much time from a file cabinet does that take? It takes a lot longer than typing in a couple of index search values, and it takes about maybe less than a minute to bring up that document when it's electronically stored. Custom application retrieval interface. So you all have business applications. If you're looking to retrieve documents with an interface from your business application, that's a possibility. And a possibility with a lot of different solutions, including ours, that it can be linked up to retrieve documents from your accounts payable system, your accounts receivable system, your HR system, whatever documents are related to those database systems, you can link to and retrieve documents. Indexing OCR capability, optical character recognition, in order to capture indexing information, whether it's text or barcodes. Also, web browser retrieval access. So would you like a solution that no matter which browser your user is using, whichever device they happen to be using, they're able to retrieve, annotate, search, print, any type of document that might be stored in the document management system. Distributed document capture. How'd you like to be able to capture documents from all your different departments, from all your different scanners, copiers, multifunction devices, remote offices, capture documents from remote offices. We work with a lot of companies that are capturing documents from remote offices so that they don't have to be mailed in from the different locations. Document workflow. Are you routing paper for approvals? Would you like to be able to route the electronic scanned in document and also be able to track that information on where it is, who approved it, how long did it take to be approved, is it taking too long, should I have a system that email notifies someone when they need to approve a document. So many automated functionalities that you can create in a workflow so that users get the ability to work a document, to complete it, to approve it in a much more efficient, faster process than just dealing with the paper. So just so many different benefits and capabilities that you can apply to documents that in doing all of this with paper costs so much more money. Applications. So eliminate filing, storage, labor-intensive paper management, and automate retention policies. So eliminate filing, eliminate the storage, because the documents in the file cabinet get full. They got to go to storage because of the retention that you need on certain documents, 7 years, 10 years, forever in some cases. So they got to go to storage. So there's a large cost involved in moving documents from filing cabinets to storage, or to storage in the first place. Paper management, moving paper within the organization, dealing with the destruction of paper when it's reached its expiration. Automated, and that's automated retention policy. So I'd like to have your retention policy built into an application that removes documents when they're no longer needed. Lots of people don't want to keep documents that are no longer needed, just basically for litigation purposes and for security purposes as well. If you no longer need those documents, they're no longer required to be retained, then they need to be eliminated. And you want to do that without any labor. It costs labor to eliminate documents that are no longer need to be retained. So we can talk about accounts payable. We have tons of clients that their main application is accounts payable. Lots of paper coming in the door, coming in the mail, through fax, through email, that has to be dealt with in some way, in dealing with paying for the items at your company, approvals, things like that. Workflow is a big process in accounts payable. Human resources, so lots of documents being dealt with, and sensitive employee documents are being dealt with. Paper is not that secure. Document management, if you have to have a username and password to get into your document management and retrieve your documents for certain employees, then you are much more secure than dealing with paper. Shipping documents, accounts receivable. We have lots of clients that we deal with customer invoices that you may want your customers to have access to. So that's another application that we work with clients that want to have their invoices available to customers to retrieve copies, especially archived copies, so that they're not having to contact you all to get copies of their invoices. They're available online. Contracts, service contracts, anything that's on paper, it's got signatures on it, anything that needs to be approved. There are workflows can be created for contracts, for approvals, for reviews, etc. Point of sale documents, we have customers that scan in their point of sale receipts that are signed, and you can scan those in and have access to that information. Computer output, customer invoices, I mentioned, financial reports, and also PDF text HTML files. So if you want a document management system, you can have a document management system that deals with everything, and even things that don't involve paper, like Microsoft Office documents, Excel, Word, those types of documents. Your financial reports, your month-end reports, text files, HTML files, emails and attachments. Incorporate emails and attachments to your document management system, so that a transaction for a vendor or a customer, an order for a customer, can all be put into a database system to retrieve that information. Inbound fax. So if you want to capture fax information, we have we have clients in which we're have shown them the automation of capturing this information, where in many cases doesn't involve a user to capture information that needs to be stored into a document management system. It's being automatically captured. So the benefits. So here's what's great about it, right? Transaction times drop 75% or more, improving customer satisfaction, improving your ability to pay an accounts payable invoice in order to receive a particular discount, so that because maybe that the invoice was lost or misplaced, misfiled. There are things that you can do in document management to help prevent those things from happening, so that you're able to retrieve that information much more quickly and easily. Reduction in storage space requirements from 50 to 80%. I can tell you that we are a user of our own solution, our company, and we're a small company. We have several empty file cabinets in one of our storage rooms. If anyone is interested in purchasing a file cabinet, you should get a document management system instead, because a file cabinet over time would have cost you $25,000 to fill that file cabinet up with paper. But we are a user of our own solution and have taken our documents, and our file cabinets are now empty. It feels really nice. So productivity jumps 25 to 50% productivity when instead of having to deal with paper. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'll come back to this. I'm going to go and kind of talk about our document management system as a user to retrieve documents. So I'm going to use Internet Explorer for my presentation here, and I've also got other browsers that I can also access the document management system, like Firefox, Google Chrome, Safari. So what's nice about having a document management solution that's completely through browsers, not having to install any other applications or ActiveX type add-ons or modules in order for your users to access their documents. They basically need a link that can become, a favorite in their web browser to link to and log in with a username and password, so that the documents that they need to retrieve are available to them and not for those that don't need to access them. Documents can be over here to the left-hand side, busted out into different folders and subfolders. Such as over here, so you can click on folders and see the documents within those folders if you have access to those folders as with your username and password. Our solution will interface with Active Directory for authentication of access to the DMS system. The indexing capability that you have, such as for this folder, you can have custom indexes that you define for any of your folders in which you store documents. So a folder such as invoices, such as accounts payable, will have their own set of indexes and their own set of documents. And the documents can include what was scanned, what was saved by a user, whether it be an email, whether it be a Word document, a PDF. Any type of document can be associated with a folder, an index, so that you can retrieve. So you have PO number, vendor number, invoice date, amount, invoice number. So you have all these index field capabilities to search. You can search, build custom searches so that you can choose any of the fields that are available to search and retrieve a document. I just want to put in a vendor name here. I'll just put in a vendor name. Oh, guess what? It shows me 3 different documents based on that vendor name. And then you can click to open the document. Now this solution, you can have TIFF images in which you can place notations on the document, sticky notes, redaction, highlighting. You can also put annotations on PDF documents. So if you want to store any type of if you want to store a PDF document, whether it's a contract, and let's see, let me go to the next document here. So here's a PDF document that is saved, either saved as a PDF from your desktop and stored into DMS. You have annotation features and redaction, sticky note, rubber stamp, highlighting of information on this document. You have thumbnails over here to the left. Here's all the different annotation features. And so this is all of these features of annotating, printing, exporting to a PDF. If it's a scanned in TIFF image, you can export it to a PDF. And then if you want to email that document or print it or save it, you can print the document. There's a print button here. You can select which thumbnails on the left that you'd like to print. Hit the print key, and you can say printer or PDF document. So you can generate that. And it'll display for you in Adobe Reader. The document it'll display for you, and then you can email that or print that or save that. And you can say document annotations or document only. So if you want to generate a PDF, and these annotation capabilities can be used from any browser, any iPad, iPhone, or any other tablet, because you have all of the browsers available to do annotations, to view documents, to search. And so the capabilities of building such a database are pretty powerful because of all the indexes that you could define for the document. How do you get the indexes into the system? There's lots of different ways to get indexing information associated with documents. OCR is one of them, optical character recognition, which is OCR, capturing data from your DB2 or SQL or any other database format, capturing indexing from your application screens. So we work with our clients as much as possible to try and find ways to capture indexing information without having to do data entry, so that you can get the documents easily indexed in the system with very little time or labor involved with having to do the document indexing. We do a lot of things too with clients where we might connect to a database at some point in time to retrieve indexing information. You may want to extract indexing information from this solution and import it into your application. You may want to, provide information from this solution after a workflow is completed, so that if you've paid an invoice through a workflow, you want your accounts payable application to go ahead and generate a check for that payment of that invoice once it's been approved and gone through the approval process through the workflow procedure. And so some of the other capabilities, like add a document, clone a record, delete a record, launch a workflow. So if you just add a document, you've got the capability here to this document here. You want to add an additional document. It could be anything: email, Excel file, Word. You can attach a note, a notation to this record. So you can attach a notation to the record, and then as well as annotations to, and you can have several annotations of who it was added by. Shows here in the date that it was modified. And these are all security features so that you can limit to what capabilities folks have. Also, you can do things like in your retention, like I have a field here called hold. If you want to set up a field in which you need to hold a document, you don't want it to be deleted, you want to put a legal hold on it, you can just change that field. If you want to export your documents to a PDF, or export the records to, say, an Excel file, because you want this indexing information in an Excel file, or you want to export a set of documents. You want to export a set of documents. What you just searched on the main screen will show up here, and then you can check all these documents to export, or you can just select certain documents. So I want this document, this document, this document, and then you go export, and you can include your annotations. What this solution will do is generate a PDF for you that you can email or print or save. But a lot of times folks want to email it. So if you're having to research and grab a large set of documents for an audit, for a vendor, for a customer, you can use this batch export to gather all those documents into one PDF that you can then use for reference to send to the vendor, the customer, the auditor, etc. So a lot of these things that you can do here when going to a file cabinet to retrieve, or the storage, or the cave, or the basement, is a lot less time taken, therefore a lot less money spent on retrieving documents. It's also, this solution has workflow capabilities, so you can do things like, let me go to the workflow. Our solution has so many different aspects to it, but also in a document management system, if you have workflow built into the solution, this allows you to route documents to different managers, supervisors, users, groups of individuals in which they need to complete some sort of task on the document, whether they need to approve it or index it, or capture indexing information, or whatever it is that they need to do. You can create the task for the users to complete that task for that document. And so there's ways to do notes and annotations on documents as you're routing them through the workflow. If you want to attach a signature, you can attach a signature to the document as part of your workflow process. And so this is a way, and then you can also do email notifications. You want to email, notify a user that there's a document that needs to be completed or approved. You can approve documents through email. Instead of going into this interface to see your documents that you need to approve, you can do it through an email. Or you can go here and log in and approve your documents. It has things like routing it to you can route it to someone else if it's been assigned to them for a certain amount of time. Maybe they've gone on vacation and it needs to be routed to another individual or to another group for approval. So you never had to route the paper. You never had to generate a copy or make a copy. You simply have, and the email notifications helps everybody just get things done much quicker. So they can be you can be reminded of it through email, etc. And then supervisors can go in and see which documents haven't been worked yet, so they can route those to other people if necessary. So many different things that you can do to automate a approval process of your documents and a routing process of your documents, so that users don't have to deal with paper. Let me show you a little bit more, and then we'll be finished. I'm going to go into our management console. This part of our solution is the application part for where you can add your users, and you can import your users from Active Directory. You can define your groups in which those users would be assigned. You can create your workflows. So when you create a workflow, you basically build a chart, a flow chart of how your document is to be approved or reviewed or completed. Or what if you wanted something where you store a contract and it needs to be renewed after a certain time, and you scan that contract, you index it, there's a date that it's indexed by for the date that it's going to expire, and you want to build a workflow to notify when that's going 30 days prior to expiring. You want to build a workflow to route that document to the user that needs to approve it or to the group that needs to approve it. because it could be a group of several users, and they can go in and I'll say, okay, I got to go work this contract or this agreement because it needs to be approved or renewed. So you can build workflows that automatically do things for you, automatically remind you, automatically provide you the document based on whatever criteria, based on a certain dollar amount, based on a certain date, based on a certain location, based on a certain zip code, whatever it is that your business process is, you can interpret that and put that into this system and completely streamline that whole process of making it non-paper, making that process paperless. Is so doable. These workflows that we've designed for our clients can be simple, like this is a pretty simple one here, or can be very complicated with lots of different steps. One of our largest clients has about 3,000 users, and they use workflow extensively from their remote. Lots of these users are remote locations where they're on the road traveling, and they need access to documents that must be approved, and so they rely on workflow quite a bit. And the nice thing about this is you can get to see your workflow with any browser, tablet, iPhone, whatever browser that you want to use. You can have access, so that makes it easy for the IT folks to maintain this solution because it's just a link to access a server and see those documents. Also, you can define your folders, your security, assign security based on annotating, viewing. If anyone like a more detailed presentation, there's a lot of other features that I can go over with you, and we can talk about your needs as far as any kind of workflow you're looking to design. Talk about scanning and indexing processes. There's so many more things. There's lots of different things that this product can do. There's lots of other features in the user interface that are exciting and new and easy to use and provide lots of functionality for the user. So I'm going to go ahead and end on this note here, just one, except for the fact that, here's the document indexes. Defining your own document indexes for your folders is great. Just gives you the capability to customize the solution to fit how you want to retrieve your documents. You don't have to get you don't have to have a lot of indexes if you don't need to. You could have just maybe 2 or 3 or 4 indexes if you want, or you can have as many as you want. You can have indexes that are captured through OCR, captured through ODBC connectivity to another database, through screen scrape capability from your application screens. So this system, to install a DMS system like this one, you would simply just provide a link, again, a link to your users to access the documents, and login information. If you've got Active Directory, you want to set that up. Basically, it's the same login, and it will authenticate whether they're an active user that has access to the system, and will log in, and they can access their documents from any browser and from any device. So if there's some questions, I've got some time to go ahead and answer some questions. On your GoToMeeting module, there is a questions option there on the GoToMeeting console on the right side of your screen. If you got any questions, I've got a question here. Can you use this with your existing scanner? Yes. You can use this with a scanner that is network attached. You can use this scanner that is desktop attached. You can use a multifunction copier scanner device. You can do that. I do have, someone's asking if we have references. We have several references if you'd like to talk to anyone using this solution. We've got spreadsheets for doing ROIs if you're needing to do a return on investment. If you're an existing customer and you've got such as any like our laser vault imaging or DMS9, what I'm showing now is the DMS10 solution. And if you're looking to talk about or go over any more details on the DMS10 solution, there's between laser vault imaging and DMS10, there's quite a bit of new capabilities, especially with annotations on PDFs, being able to use a browser interface instead of the application, and then having all the workflow and everything built into one management console is pretty nice too. To have that all capability in one application that you can set up for the administrator. And I'll send out a copy of the presentation, and then we can also help how much you're spending on paper, because with our spreadsheet that we can send out. Let me get you, it's my contact information, email and phone if you're looking to get a personalized demo. Someone's asked how difficult to change from your from laser vault imaging to DMS, or it's really pretty simple. We have the conversion programs created to go from laser vault imaging to DMS10, as well as DMS9 to DMS10. We have those available. We will basically do the work for you to get it set up so that you're up and running, and get you trained on how to use the solution, how to use this, the new features, and go through things that you would like to use in the new solution, and get you all trained on how to use it. So we've got ways of moving your data and your information over to this new solution, and that's what we offer. We offer that capability to get you set up on the new DMS10. Okay, doesn't look like there's any questions. I'll go ahead and stop there. Appreciate everyone's time, and please let us know if you have any questions, you want to go over anything in more detail, because there's so much more that we can talk about in a live one-on-one presentation. Thanks everyone for your time, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Bye-bye.